going to remove this. Guys, you have a microphone, that is not working, so that's what you. Okay, hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. So tonight we are speaking on Facebook plus on likes and places on Facebook. Like hopefully you are doing so that's not.
Is it buffering? Can you guys hear? Can you hear now? Is it better?
Better sound now. Oh my God. Great.
Is it okay? So loud and clear. Okay.
Okay.
Finally. Okay,
My
so
God.
yes, finally.
Good. Hi,
True.
Bambi. Hi, Truth Coming.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry. We were trying a new microphone. It seems that we couldn't get it to work, so we had to change the microphone again.
Right, okay.
Okay, so thank you for joining. I know that a few of you were asking if I'm going to go live again on the Madeleine Mccann case, and yes, it seems that tonight we are going live with the Madeleine McCann case. Just a couple of things that we want to talk about. And I think that we can start with the new documentary aired on Discovery Plus. It started airing in the middle of February. I think it's a 3 or 4 episode series of true crime. I haven't watched it myself, so if you guys watch the documentary on Discovery Plus, please let us know in the chat. I didn't feel like it's the right thing to do for me to pay a membership because I have no idea in which pocket it goes on this documentary, so I don't want to add more money for the McCanns to spend.
Hi Bernadette. Hi Sue. Hi Joe.
Hi Sue. Hi Bernadette. So the new documentary is called Prime Suspect: The Madeleine McCann Case, and it seems that this examines the German suspect Christian Brueckner, which, as we know from previous months, according to media articles, that he wasn't a suspect anymore. He was cleared. Now all of a sudden he's going back to being a suspect. Never mind. We already know the story. It's getting ridiculous. It's a circus, really. So one of you have asked me previously when we talked on Madeleine McCann case, who produced the documentary, and I managed to find out that it was produced by Danish Heartland TV and directed by Jasper H. Grant. In the documentary, you can see featured the friends of Christian Brueckner, even an ex-girlfriend, Bruckner's defense counsel, and the German prosecutor, and also the former Portuguese investigator, Gonzalo Amaral. So he has a piece as well in the miniseries. And in the documentary, actually, Amaral is criticizing Kate's response after she found out that Madeleine McCann went missing. So he said that Kate's behavior from the beginning was not normal. As in, she went in the apartment to discover that Madeleine went missing, and she decided to go back to the tapas restaurant, which is 200 meters from the apartment, instead of shouting from the balcony or getting in front of the apartment to shout from there or use the phone to call. She decided to just leave the twins, Sean and Emily, alone in the room and go back to the tapas restaurant to announce the others. This is one of the points that Amaral is making in the documentary. And Amaral is also saying that actually he's also criticizing the German police on their fixation of Christian Brueckner as a suspect. And he says that the German police are talking a lot, but they don't have any evidence to show for whatever they are talking about. And he also says, as he's been saying previously in the previous years, that it seems that he is almost the perfect suspect. And I say it from my point of view, he would be the perfect suspect if he would be dead, because he wouldn't be able to defend himself. Let's see what else was there said. I have a few notes because otherwise I forget everything. Yes. There was another documentary in 2018 in Australia, and Amaral appeared in that documentary as well. And he said in the documentary that MI5 spies, they were trying to cover up Madeleine's death and disappearance. So they helped in covering that up. So from his own words, I assume that he more or less figured out exactly what happened. For him to say that MI5 was involved, he probably had a leg to stand on when he said that. There's a reason why he had to go from the investigation, because he knew too much.
He has been made to go, so
yeah,
it wasn't his choice.
No, obviously it wasn't his choice. He had to go because it wasn't good for
them.
For them,
because
yes.
Obviously he was on their tails and he knew so much. obviously, let's make him go.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
we don't want such thing.
Yeah. Now, going back to this new documentary, which started airing in the middle of February, Frederick Fulcher, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right. Frederick,
Frederick Fulcher.
yes, he's Bruckner's lawyer. He said that he doesn't think Christian Brueckner will ever be charged for Madeleine's disappearance because he doesn't think that there is enough evidence. And I think we all know by now that there isn't any evidence to actually link him to Madeleine's disappearance. So I want to read you from what Mr. Fulcher had to say in the documentary, and I want to quote on that. My client hasn't been charged with anything. He is under investigation and under suspicion. I have to assume that they do not have any concrete evidence. I think that's quite typical for us Germans. We think we are something special, at least in Europe, and think we can do things better than other nations. We will see if it's the case, but I don't think so. End of quote. So this is coming from Christian Brueckner's lawyer. And okay, so we finished with everything I had to say on this documentary. I also want to play you two clips, but before we do that, let's catch up on the comments for a bit.
Yeah.
Joe Hexton, yes. Hello, guys. Love your work. You work so hard. Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you for following us and watching the videos. Yes, she was supposed to protect the twins, wasn't she? Obviously, that I don't know what. I don't know why she thought that it was a great idea for her to
But
go
that-
back to the tapas.
That was one of my points, previous videos of, we've done on Madeleine Mccann. Obviously, if you one of the kids goes is gone, is disappeared somehow, as they claimed, then you can't leave the other two there in the apartment and just go, and they are left there by themselves. Obviously, you will expect them to go as well to disappear, isn't it? You don't want that to happen. So obviously, you stay there with them, make sure they are safe, protect the twins, and make sure you phone the Jerry or others to come and help.
Oh.
That was the right thing to do, but she
Yeah.
didn't do that, and she decided to go to the tapas restaurant to let them know there.
Also, she had different means to let them know, which were quicker and safer for the twins.
You
The
could have
quickest,
shouted.
yeah. If they say that it's as if you were in the back garden having a barbecue, then why not just jump on the balcony and shout so that everybody can hear you, or use the phone? The phone is much quicker and safer
Yeah.
for the twins.
Yeah.
There was a phone.
And after you phone Jerry because it's your husband, obviously you will phone the police to let them know straight away. But obviously, I don't know what she was on to at that time. But yeah, Bambiba, she says
Bambi.
too many high-profile people involved, and that's our opinion as well. That's why they keep getting funds and funds and funds, and they keep, after so many years, such things, funding a case such as this. There's so many kids missing, so many kids going missing, so many cases around, and still nobody gets such funding.
But we'll talk about this in more detail a bit later on, because I have a few points that I want to talk about
Yeah.
in regards to the funding.
Joe Haxton says, got too close to the help with the cover up, and who gave it, therefore, next day would find out why they gave the help, possibly incriminating a higher up.
I honestly think that Gonzalo Amaral figured out exactly what happened. Maybe not 100%, but I think that he was on the right track, and that's why he had to be silenced somehow. He probably found out the people involved, the high level people involved, and the cover up, and why the cover up was made. I really do think that that's the reason why he had to
Yeah.
They had to get rid of him from the investigation.
Right. Then going to the next one, she had to create the scene to look like she had concern for Madeleine McCann.
But you see, it sort of worked against her, because by her trying to create a scene to make it look like she's concerned for Madeleine, she created another scene where you asked the question that why she had to leave, and in the process leaving the twins alone from the same exact room where Madeleine supposedly disappeared from. It wasn't.
Yeah. Joe says here, maybe the pedophile ring it would expose would be there's not Christian Brueckner's crib. Uh, yeah, there are few options there. We we don't know yet what happened for sure. Options are on the table. There's either accident, either project, either who knows what. There's so many things to take in consideration in this case, and yeah, I don't know. The money, I say,
Yep.
money is always, always something that leads people to do things which they shouldn't do. Yes,
Stupid mistake by Kate running to the tapas. Yes, I completely agree. And honestly, the whole cover up story, in my opinion, was a stupid mistake. I mean, a stupid mistake. And whoever thought the whole story, they didn't really think it through, because there's just so many inconsistencies there. And it all starts from Jane Tanner. And Jane Tanner is the worst at telling lies. She is the worst.
you
really.
can clearly see
Yeah.
she's lying.
Yeah, yeah.
She can't hide it.
Yeah, there are people who
Yeah.
are really good liars and they can hide their lies forever. But there
Yeah.
are other people who just, you can just say straight away that she's lying, he's lying, because it's just so obvious. Okay, are we ready to play the first clip?
Yeah.
So this is going to be one clip from the documentary. I don't have a lot of clips. I only managed to get hold of two of them, and one is from the German prosecutor.
This one?
Yeah, this one.
Is it this?
Yeah, but you need to put it on the
Yeah, I know.
share the screen, and let's not forget to share the screen with the sound. Share audio. That's it. And Chrome tab. That's the one.
So shall I play it here?
Mhm. Let's see. Is it playing there?
Leave this a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it from the other tab as well. From here. Okay.
Im Zusammenhang mit dem Verschwinden
Can
des
you let us
Madeleine
know if you...
Mccann ermittelt die Staatsanwaltschaft Braunschweig gegen einen 43-jährigen deutschen Staatsangehörigen.
Work from this tab here. Work from here. Sorry, guys. Just a second.
Uh, from here, right?
Yes, but work only from this, from here.
Okay. Okay.
Timing is everything. It's making the right trade at the right time with the right partner. City Index.
Im
Doesn't work, see? Oh my goodness. Let's see again. Can we share it as something else?
I don't know.
Sorry guys, I played something, but it seems like it doesn't work. So here it works, yeah?
Yeah, it works.
So if you make it big, right, okay. Where are we?
We are on the same tab, on the same.
Right, sorry. Hmm.
Share audio, share.
Oh, right. So,
Im Zusammenhang mit dem Verschwinden des Madeleine Beth McCann ermittelt die Staatsanwaltschaft Braunschweig gegen einen 43-jährigen deutschen Staatsangehörigen wegen des Verdachts des Mordes.
Since 2007, police have tried to uncover what happened to Madeleine McCann, who disappeared from a holiday resort in Portugal. Now, 14 years later, police claim to have a new suspect. But who is he?
Also Christian ist ein ruhiger Vertreter gewesen. Also der ist nicht aufgefallen.
Also Christian war ein ganz lustiger, witziger Mensch und auch, würde ich sagen, die erste Zeit immer sehr aufmerksam auch.
Why has Christian B. not been investigated before?
Being a criminal, there are certain countries where it is very easy to stay under the radar. And I think Portugal is, sadly, one of them.
We rented a house not very far away from the place where Madeleine was sleeping the day she vanished.
We have gained access to Christian B.'s inner circle of friends.
Mensch aufbricht und klettert Fassaden und so. Darum war der auch ziemlich sportlich, weil das war sein Job, Fassaden klettern.
Has Christian B. committed other crimes? We find witnesses who were in contact with Christian B. up to the time of Madeleine's disappearance.
Are you absolutely sure that Christian talked about hiding a child in his van in the spring 2007?
Natürlich.
But is there enough evidence to get the new suspect convicted?
There's a huge lack of evidence. Up to this point, I'm actually pretty sure they won't be able to convict Christian B.
Join us as we investigate further.
What happened on the 3rd of May, 2007?
Wissen Sie, was Sie am 3. Mai 2007 gemacht haben?
So this was one of the clips. What do you think?
hi Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for joining. Debbie from Facebook. Yeah, I think you can close that.
Right.
So this whole documentary is focused on Christian Brueckner, really, and the man talking there in the clip, he was one of his friends. So what do we believe so far? I mean, I haven't watched the documentary, and these are only this is one of the clips I could find available. Otherwise, you need to subscribe to Discovery Plus to be able to watch. But although just a couple of months ago, he was in the newspaper, I think he was in the British media saying that he was cleared as a suspect in Madeleine McCann's disappearance. Yet again, they bring him up as a suspect. And honestly, he would never be able to have a fair trial. And also, the amount of times that the German police brought him in the press, in the news, without even having any evidence to link him to Madeleine's disappearance, is stained him forever. Even if, say, for example, he gets out of jail, he's in jail for the rape of the 72-year-old woman, I think, and the robbery charges, I think. He won't even be able to live his life. He will have to stay hidden because the whole world knows that he's Madeleine McCann suspect.
Yeah.
Even though he is not Madeleine McCann suspect, but the press worked so hard to stain him, just like the press worked so hard to stain Gonzalo Amaral, so that Amaral loses credibility on everything he says.
The dogs lose credibility as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Christian Brueckner loses any credibility because, as they say, because he did the crimes that he did, that means that he fits the profile to be Madeleine McCann's abductor. But if a person fits a profile, it doesn't necessarily mean that they did it. Apart from fitting a profile, you also need to have evidence against them, but there is no evidence against him. The only evidence
the only evidence is in their mind, and obviously in their plan that they try to get the funds, they try to keep the case open and ongoing. Obviously, they need to have a suspect there and try to give some details and some info, some updates into media, and obviously people to know, oh, hold on, because the investigation is still going, it's still open and so on.
Yeah. So let's play the second clip, which is the last one from, I'm hoping that I'm not repeating myself on the second clip. This will be the last one which I could find.
Right, so let's just see.
Hopefully we can do it now, say audio.
Yeah.
And this one comes from the Sun. The Sun is so reliable.
Right. Is it playable?
Yes, it's playable, yeah.
Right.
Also den Christian hast du wenig drauf gesehen, aber so wie er sich bewegt hat und die Sprache und Dings, also für mich 100% Christian. Dann habe ich noch einen Videotape gesehen, auf diesen anderen Videotape. Da war dann so ein junges Mädel, 16 war die, schätze ich. Und die hat er da angekettet. In der Wohnung ist so wie ein Baumstamm oder ein Holzbalken, der in der Wohnung runtergeht. Die hat er da angekettet. Die Kamera war feststatiert, war immer nur das Bild. Die Kamera war also fest. Das war keiner, der da rumrannte mit der Kamera oder so. Dass es der Christian auf diesem Dings ist. Dass es der Christian bei diesem Mädchen war. Da war er ja auch zu sehen.
Well-known and trusted South Florida veterinarian.
So this was the last clip from the documentary. Again, they are talking about Christian Brueckner, and I think that in this particular clip, they were referring to the building that Brueckner bought at an auction, and where they found some child pornography or child abuse photos on a USB stick. And again, they say that that's why he is guilty of Madeleine McCann's disappearance, because he was in possession of a USB stick which contained a lot of images and photos. And they were actually trying to link him to another girl's disappearance, what was her name? Ingra, I believe. They even called her at one point the German Maddie, which again, it's very unfair to her parents. But he was cleared of any sort of, anything to do with that girl's disappearance. The problem with that is that Ingra, she was another girl altogether who disappeared, who vanished. Yet again, whoever came up with this idea, the Germans or the McCann team, to sort of associate, to link that girl with Madeleine in the sense of the German Maddie. Why do you call her the German Maddie? What does Maddie have to do with Ingra's disappearance? Why would you associate another girl who disappeared with Madeleine McCann? Especially because
they tried to find a similar case, obviously linking Christian Brueckner, giving a bit more, like heavy weight on him, really, because they tried to put him down somehow.
It was from the McCann team. It was from the McCann team because the way I imagine it is, again, I'm thinking about Clarence Mitchell, because when something smells fishy, it usually is fishy. And I'm thinking about Clarence Mitchell because he would be the type of person who would go through such lengths to associate a girl's disappearance with Madeleine McCann, put them together in a poster in the media
without even asking the other girl's parents.
Yes, and then as a comparison, the girl's parents received £25,000 for her to try and find her for her investigation, compared to Madeleine McCann, who received millions of pounds in funding. So how is that fair? How is that fair to the parents to see in the newspaper their own daughter who disappeared associated with Madeleine McCann? And then Clarence Mitchell to go ahead and say, but we were doing them a favor because we gave the girl more exposure. How twisted is that? How sick is that?
There's not more exposure. Well, it was a good, it was well played.
It was well played, yes.
To give a bit of reasoning there. Why they did
that apparently they were trying to help the parents and to find the girl, and that's why they did what they did. But to me, again, it was always about
a big
them.
PR move.
Yeah, exactly. And them having the spotlight constantly.
Yeah.
That was.
Hi, Cleo. Thanks for joining us.
Hi,
shall
Cleo.
I just go back to?
Yes. Let's catch up on the comments.
Cleo says, I think the business of Maddie goes on. Money keeps going around to buy corrupt people, switch sides, and voice support for the bogus McCann saga. That's correct.
I also agree, Cleo, and I think that as far as I'm aware, Sandra switched sides as well, didn't she? She was anti-McCann. She was against the parents. Sandra Felgueras. The reporter, the blonde woman that was in the clip.
But do you know why?
I think I know why. Obviously, I can't say with 100% certainty, but I think I know why.
Yeah, but you see, money buys.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty much everything nowadays.
Yeah, it's quite obvious, isn't it? She was either threatened or she was paid.
Yeah. There's two options. Obviously, two options go together.
Yeah.
Threatened, and then let's just give you some money that to make you happy, and do this. Bernadette is saying he doesn't seem to be the type to be able to do such a crime and leave no trail. That would be very highly organized, I think.
I completely agree with you.
I mean, he was caught with some burglaries he did. Obviously, if you are so highly organized, you wouldn't be caught, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's one thing to take in consideration and to take into account. Also, he wasn't really into such things, I believe. I mean, what he did, he was pretty much, as JD says, patsy, but not to this kind of high level.
No, and then when you look at the evidence as well, everything that was found in apartment 5A, the apartment was in pristine, clean condition. An abductor wouldn't take time to clean everything, particularly in the 5 minutes that apparently it took for him to go in and get out with Madeleine, according to the Tapas 9 timeline. So no, it's very unlikely.
Let's go back to Joe here.
They hoped for a connection and some sort of data evidence to take a new direction and to distract the public, giving them something for all the money spent with no new breakthroughs. But they've been doing this over the years constantly. It's always some kind of a twist, but then it's not a twist, and then it just goes back in circles, and you get to the point where at the end it's the same thing as at the start. So there's nothing new there.
So they got lately they got 300,000. So sorry.
Yes, I was getting to that.
No, but lately they keep getting money, and this money they say, well, and also to not forget they paid their mortgage on the house in Leicestershire, isn't it?
Yes, but not all of the mortgage. That was at the beginning.
Oh well, yeah, but they used those money.
Yeah, I know.
Those money that they were funded by the government from our pockets for the case to be investigated and get to a point. Obviously, they use those money for their own good. So what was that? Bambi says the McCanns know exactly what happened to Maddie. We will never know. The elite of London are into all sorts, and Jerry had many contacts. He also a Freemason. We do know that. Also by the shake he had with the Pope and so many other things.
Plus there's the memorial, there's the bunch of flowers sent to Madeleine McCann's memorial with a note signed the Knights Templar. So unless you are a Freemason yourself, they wouldn't send you flowers. Obviously, just like that. And
no other, like a regular person who is not into such groups or communities such as Freemasons and other things like cults. Obviously, they don't get all sorts of things like that.
Yes.
Like bunch of flowers with message and stuff like that. You wouldn't get if you are not connected directly to them.
And the Freemasons, they also have their own code. And according to the code, as it seems, your Freemasons brothers, you have to protect them regardless of cost to you or regardless if it's something illegal that they did. But as a brother Freemason, it's your duty to protect them.
Yes.
No matter what. The Freemasonry comes before the law.
Yeah.
That's a part of their code.
Yes.
Disgusting vermin, as if he has taken this case to finally expose his crimes. He should be see the light of day. Are you talking about Christian Brueckner? If so, yes, I agree that he is disgusting. No one is saying that he's not guilty, but he's guilty of his crimes, but not of Madeleine McCann's disappearance. He is disgusting, yes. He's serving time in jail for the crimes that he was found out to do. But on Madeleine McCann, I honestly don't believe that he was involved in any way with her disappearance.
Yeah, I mean, if they, the government wouldn't know about the McCanns, obviously they wouldn't get so much funding. If it was Christian Brueckner, obviously from the first time they got him, he was already gone by now. But obviously they don't have any kind of proof against him that he was there, he did that, so we can't place him in that position, really. JD says Christian Brueckner definitely Patsy. Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree. And also it goes back to what Amaral was saying. I think it was in 2019 or 18 when he said about Christian Brueckner that he has a feeling he will be made the scapegoat.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are at the point where they are trying so hard to make him a scapegoat.
Yeah. Sandra was definitely a turncoat.
Yes, definitely she was, yes.
Right. Going here, Sue.
Yeah.
Sandra and Brandt are turncoats. They've been paid off, obviously.
Well, this is how the McCanns work, isn't it? That's how they work. They throw money at everybody because, as I said in my previous videos, and I'm quite sure everybody agrees with me, everyone has a price. You just need to find the right price. But all of us have a price.
Yeah. Joe says, yeah, round and round, no results. Yeah, going around in the same circle. Obviously, the money keep coming.
Yeah, that's the idea.
And the support keeps coming. Pretended to have no prior knowledge of Clement fraud in the UK. No way possible. They had no idea about him.
I think that they did have idea about him, the McCanns. They are connected in a way. Even if they are not connected directly, there's still a connection there with Clement fraud. Robert Murdoch and News of the World and Rebecca Brooks and all these kind of people, they all tie in together, and all of these people, they all lead back to the McCanns.
I mean, if he wasn't, with them, he wouldn't get involved, maybe.
Who?
Clement fraud. Obviously.
Well, otherwise
he wouldn't get into that and say, you know, they need help, they need that.
After a few days after Madeleine McCann were missing, if they don't know each other, why would he invite them to his villa?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And offer his help.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Joe says he agree Christian Brueckner isn't involved with Madeleine McCann's case. And yeah, I mean, he can't be placed in that position anyway.
They rely to keep him into the light on Madeleine McCann's disappearance. They keep on talking about that he was in the vicinity of the apartment where Madeleine McCann went missing, but his phone pinged in the area, but in any area 2 miles.
Yeah.
There was a tower which was 2 miles, close to the resort, to the Ocean Club, but the Ocean Club itself didn't have any antenna. So it wasn't like it is today. The technology was not the same like it is today, that they can now physically ping your phone a few meters away from where you are. But then it wasn't like that. It was like 2 miles away. He lived in the area at the time. The fact that his phone pinged in the area doesn't make him guilty.
Yeah.
Because he lived there already. He's been living there for a long time before Madeleine McCann's disappearance.
There was something saying that they need to see who called him in the same time when the Madeleine disappeared. He had a call apparently on his phone, and they would like to know who.
Yeah, he had the call. He had the call, but then again, this is not evidence to put him at the...
Yeah, but they tried.
They try everything. It's just like so many other people probably had a call at the same time when Madeleine disappeared.
Debbie says here there are definitely 2 people who know exactly what happened. They live on Rotley.
They live in Rotley, yes.
Yeah, well...
and they are free.
They know what happened. They are the only ones who know, and
the ones who are covering for them.
And the worst thing is the government was covering for them. Not only one government. There was so many since Tony Brown, isn't it? Or
Gordon Brown, Tony Blair.
Yeah, Blair, Gordon Brown, then was Cameron,
David Cameron, Theresa May, and it goes this day. So it goes through all these prime ministers, because the way I see it is, I don't think that any prime minister wants to take the responsibility, so that's why they just approve everything, and then he falls with the next prime minister because no one actually wants to accept responsibility for it. So
Yeah, but my question is, why would you keep supporting and funding this case if you know? But I can't wait to see now. Madeleine turns 18 in May, and I can't wait to see whether you know they keep funding or not, or are they coming with something new and saying, well, this is new evidence now, and keep going and keep going. We'll see. Um, Clement was director of the same college uni Kate went to.
yes.
Yeah, we know that. But
Yep.
to be honest, they were saying they didn't know each other.
Well, obviously
Didn't
they
they?
would say that. They would say
Uh,
that. They say that about everybody who we managed to find connections with. They were saying that about the other people apart from the Tapas Seven, that they didn't know each other, and we managed to connect them to another, to all, connect all of them together. So it's all lies, in my opinion. Don't sue me. I know that that the McCanns, they take pleasure in suing everybody,
yeah,
but it's my opinion, so I'm free to
to
talk
have
about
an
my opinion.
opinion. Yeah, freedom of speech and
Yes, yes.
freedom of like to have an opinion. Really, yeah, that's what it is. It wouldn't surprise me if Christian Bruno has information he's trading for his freedom, maybe an insight into the dark web.
I don't know. I honestly really don't know. But if he would have information, he wouldn't be in prison anymore, I think. Or maybe they assume that his information is not good enough. I have no idea.
Right, Bambi here. McCann's know too much about people in power. Note how quick government stepped in to help blackmail or fear of being exposed. Uh, yeah, but Theresa May said if people would know about what happened to Maddie, they will go on the streets rioting. So what could that be? What could that be?
Well, there is one thing. Jerry McCann, he was part of the Guanco Comare project, which was dealing with the nuclear power plants and leukemia in children. There's a possibility that he knows some stuff, that that report was not done properly, and they can be using that as a blackmail. The government is accepting whatever their requests are, so they are not exposed. However, I don't think that this would be the case, because to me this is very small. This kind of thing is very small, and the government would be able to eventually sort it out to make themselves not look so bad. That's why I think, and I think you think as well, that there is much more to just a secret being used as blackmail. I think it's something to do with a lot of institutions being involved in, which we shouldn't know about, including the government and so many other
And let's
institutions.
not forget that the government, if you know, MI5, for example, they do all cleaning stuff. They are the best cleaners, you know. So if they are given something, some kind of like do this, obviously some one or two people from there will go agents and they will clean up everything. So just
I think they wanted
let's
to clean
say
up the apartment.
let's say if there was the case in that goes into blackmail, they will be cleaned up by now by the government. They wouldn't go so far to fund to more than 13 million pounds
I think that the
for
fund,
this thing. Let's be honest now.
yeah, I think that the funding is actually a payment for the McCanns and the Tapa Seven to keep them quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. They know, and the government knows.
And not only the government, so many other people know.
Yeah. As doctors, I believe they've done favors, but this time they called in a favor.
Yes, that's quite possible as well. Or maybe they were all in it together in whatever has been happening.
Yeah, and this gives us a bit of an insight into Portland Down as well. So thinking about Guanco Kamali, what you said there,
Yeah.
uh, is all connected, and also there are people from Tapas, not only from there, but the whole list that if you take it one by one, you'll
The
find
Ocean Club guest checking list.
you'll find people who are actually working in Portland Down. So I don't know what they did there, and all of a sudden, all those people gathering together in the same place, in the same time. If you look at the tickets going from Gatwick to to Portugal, they're all of them in the same time, in the same day, and they stayed up to the same time there. So there's a big connection then. What's going on?
That
Is
was
there a coincidence?
No, it's too much
Come
of a
on.
coincidence, really. That wasn't a holiday.
That's over 100 people there, including kids. And those kids were like between 3 and 4 years old, 6 years old, and in the same range, really.
Yes, they were of very similar ages.
So
the kids.
what's going on? Is there something to like a pure coincidence?
And weirdly enough, those kids, they looked very similar to each other.
Yeah.
What are the odds that you have kids similar to each other and all of them are at the same time in holiday in the Ocean Club Resort? They check in at almost the same time. They check out at almost the same time. No, there must be something much more going on.
Bernadette is saying to take a look at Colin Sutton's video.
I'm not sure if I've seen it. I think I've seen it, but I will double check. I'm looking at so many videos that I forget, and I'm horrible with names. So
Debbie is asking, do you think Jerry knew Murat before? Was it him who Jerry played golf with?
I think that Jerry knew Murat before. Yes. You remember the interview? What it was with Sandra, I think. What? No, I'm not sure if it was Sandra, but it must have been. When she asked if he knew Murat before, and the way he responded, you wouldn't respond in such a way unless you knew him, but you don't want to let others know that you knew him.
He said no comment.
No comment. Yeah, why would you say no comment? Can't you just say no, I didn't know him? If you don't know someone, you just say you don't know someone. It's not such a big deal. He made it even worse by the way he replied.
Yeah.
Because maybe if he would have said no to begin with, then no one would suspect anything more. But the fact that he said no comment just makes things worse. Because people just
Yeah, but not only that. But let's think about Murat's involvement.
Well,
he was too deep into it.
Was it him who Jerry played golf with? I think it was him. You mean in Portugal, wasn't it? After, no, it wasn't after. It was before Madeleine disappeared. When Murat was traveling a long route, and he couldn't explain where he was going. I can't remember.
Yeah, but
exactly what was what. But then there's another thing that Murat, he lives in the UK. He lived in the UK close to Jane Tanner in Exeter. So there you go, just 1 mile away from Jane Tanner. And his ex-wife and his daughter also lived in the UK. I think they still do live in the UK right now. And also, just before Madeleine went missing, he took a last-minute flight to Portugal from the UK again. Is it a coincidence?
Yeah. Too many coincidences.
Too many coincidences, yes.
Joe says, yep, clean up crew and doctors know how to clean up too. Yeah.
Yes.
They know what substances to use and what to do because obviously they work with bloods, they work with stuff.
That's why the explanation that Kate gave when she said that the reason why the dog alerted to cadaver in odor on her trousers, and the cuddle cat was because she visited dead bodies. That's why her explanation was ridiculous, because she's a doctor. And I don't think that a doctor, I don't think anybody who goes to see dead bodies would wear the same clothing in holiday without washing them first. And also, I don't think that any mother would take a plush toy, the favorite plush toy of their child, to put the toy in her bag, to then carry the bag to visit dead bodies, to then take the cuddle toy, the cuddle cat, in holiday without washing the cat first.
But we are kids and we don't know what they talk about.
Yeah, that's the treatment that they give to everybody.
Yeah.
They think that their explanation are wow.
And also,
for children.
She was a doctor, okay, but she was a GP. She wasn't working with dead people.
That's what
she wasn't
said.
Working in morgue. She wasn't working in other places where you have, like, for example, A&Es, accident and emergencies, where you have the resource and you have cardiac arrests and all sorts of things that people come with, and you have the red calls and green calls, which they come already dead, and you work with dead people. No, she was a GP, simple as that.
That was the explanation she gave for the cadaver order on her clothing.
I don't believe. I don't buy that.
A lot of people don't.
Truth Coming says flowers were from Templars.
Yeah, from the Knights Templars.
We did say that. Yeah.
It was signed the Knight Templars.
Yeah.
The Knight Templars don't just send flower to any memorial.
No, I agree 100%. It's harsh money for the tapas.
That's why I believe that they will find reasons for as long as they can for the funding.
Well,
to keep the payment going. So you have to ask yourself a question: what is it so important and so big that 13 million pounds still is not payment enough?
I don't know. There are pedophilia rings operating in London, to which many well-known politicians are suspect.
Yes, I know. I remember that Sonia Polton was touching this subject in one of her YouTube videos, and it turns out that one of the MPs actually took her to court. So we know about pedophilia and politicians. They are closely connected to each other. And this has been happening for a very long time.
Yes.
Although I believe that something more happened with Madeleine McCann than a pedophilia ring.
Yeah, pedophilia ring, when it comes to this kind of what option we have and what idea, what might probably happen to Madeleine. If you compare these two, between eugenics and pedophilia, it's pretty much, you can't compare them, isn't it?
Yes.
Eugenics is way bigger than anything else. I don't know. Right. Where are we? We are here. Maddie was the next in line to be given to the cause, whether they gave in or got her out of there before she met her fate.
Oh, you mean the cause? You mean the Freemasonry? Are you taking the Freemasonry theory on this?
Maybe.
Well, there are some rituals that they perform in Freemasonry. I've read about it, but not all Freemasons know about the goings of what's happening in the circle. Only
the big ones.
Only the high ones, they know what's happening. So it seems that there are some kind of rituals happening in Freemasonry, but honestly, I don't know much about it.
Bernadette is saying Colin was asked by Met Police to investigate the case, but he was told he couldn't look into the parents. So he didn't take on the case, as he said he would have to start from the beginning.
Oh my God, how could I forget about that? Yes, I remember perfectly his interview. Yes, it was with Sonia Polton. No,
it wasn't.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was with Sonia Polton as well.
Hold on a minute.
Yes. He said that one of his friends called him
Yeah.
to say that they might want him to go back into investigating Madeleine McCann's disappearance. He was already retired, and his friend was telling him that he wouldn't like it because he won't be allowed to investigate the parents.
Yeah, but he didn't want that.
No,
he didn't like it.
he said it. No, he said he even said that he found it quite suspicious that the police didn't investigate the parents, because in most of these cases, the people you look at first are the parents.
Yeah.
Because statistically, 80% of the times, the parents or the immediate family had something to do with the child's disappearance.
Yeah, but he didn't like it, the way they were controlling him, where to go. And they were showing him the way. Do this. Don't look that way. Look this way.
Yeah,
so obviously he didn't like it, and that's why, hence, he didn't get involved into this case.
Yeah, but
I remember that. But
the remit of Operation Grange from the get-go was to investigate the abduction. You know, don't look at the parents, don't question the parents, don't investigate the parents.
Yeah.
That's already biased from the beginning. When you say that, then you do that.
Yeah. Joe says, yep, they're training in chemistry and procedures. Yeah, they know. They are doctors. Obviously, they know. They
would also know how to clean so they don't leave traces.
Yeah.
I think it's part of your learning, really, into becoming a doctor.
Seriously, who wears their cadaver pants on a family holiday?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the point.
Yeah, and also cuddle cat. Why would you take your child's cuddle cat in your bag when you know you go to visit a dead body? It doesn't make sense. It's just ridiculous. These are stories for kids, and they expect us to believe stories for kids. These are stories.
Who falls for it? Falls for it. I mean, come on. Truth coming to light, none of them want to rat on a brother. And obviously, the Templars, the Knight Templars are like that, Freemasons,
Yeah, and I think that they would do anything and everything to protect each other.
But there are so many. If you go back into history, there are so many things they did, and they covered each other. You know, it's big. David says, wow, I didn't know Murat lived a mile away from Jane Tanner. Really enjoying this life, learning a lot more. Didn't think about all those kids that look similar ages. They were there all the same time and dates. Wow, yes. Because I had to look into all those tickets, plane tickets, from where they went, where they got the planes from, where they went, similar places, similar times, kind of like a huge coincidence there. I was like talking to my wife, what happened here? Is this like, I don't know. And then we realized they were there for a reason. They had something planned already. They went there for a reason. They knew each other. They knew their own positions. They knew what they are doing. Even though Jerry was saying on the coach, he's not there on the shuttle bus. He's not there to have fun.
Yeah, to enjoy it. Yeah.
To enjoy himself. Yeah. So he had already given all that info without even realizing that he's giving more info to people.
Yeah.
So think about it.
Well, also there was another thing, the Millennium Restaurant, where they went to eat, and they went with the kids. It was at the beginning of their holiday, and I think that the owner of the restaurant, he was serving people as well.
Yeah.
When the tapas were there with their children, and he was questioned, and he said that the girls from the whole group, they all looked so similar that he couldn't actually tell them apart, and he wasn't even sure if he saw Madeleine in the group, because the girls were just so similar. Yeah. All of them, he said like that, all of them were with blonde eyes, with blonde hair and blue eyes. So again, what are the chances? I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Jerry lost the plot when he was asked if he knew Murat.
Yes, It was obvious. He was obvious. As soon as he said no comment, something was wrong there.
So when you touch a chord there, then you realize, oh, hold on a minute, there's something wrong there.
And then you could see his body language that he became annoyed and frustrated.
Yeah, so
he's asked.
he's so kind of like closed. He's very, very like
cold.
He doesn't give much.
Yeah, emotionless.
Like he's emotionless. He doesn't show much when he's interviewed and stuff like that. He's controlling Kate, and he's controlling the interviews and what to say and how to say it. But obviously, if you look at him properly, you realize that he gives more than what he believes, you know, and you wouldn't believe it when you see him, the way he's like rolling his eyes or whatever, changing direction or anything else. Obviously, you will realize that he says something wrong there. He tries to cover it up.
Yeah, but that question and his reply that if no comment and his gestures, it was from, you know, straight away you could tell that something was wrong there, and he's lying. He was even he even looked down, and usually you look down when you are ashamed of your lie.
Or guilty,
yes.
Yeah. Joe says here, don't expect to be able to investigate. In other words, it has to be on the take. Money, mouth shut, you know, sort of like. Yeah.
Colin is one of these individuals who has principles, and he knew that he won't be allowed to do a proper investigation, so he would rather not be involved in it.
Yeah. That shows corruption, says Bernadette.
Yes.
Corruptions in Portugal, corruptions in the UK, corruptions everywhere really, even in Germany. And they say, well, we are clean, we are not corrupt. And they talk about other countries, they are so corrupt. But they are the biggest, the biggest ones, really.
But then there's also the question of why. Okay, we know about the UK. The UK police, they're embarrassing themselves. We know that already. The Portuguese police, on the other hand, they were stopped from investigating properly. But the question is, why is the German police now embarrassing themselves with this Christian Brueckner? Is it not something that has got to do with, you know, UK and Germany and Portugal as well? Like the three countries. There must be something in the center there which connects all three of them, because I don't see a reason why the Germans would embarrass themselves.
I was looking into projects and stuff. Obviously, the Treaty, you know, of Lisbon. I need to have a proper look into that and come out, you know, with some more info. But obviously, I have to waste some time on that, and it's huge.
Treaty of Lisbon, that was the blackmail of Gordon Brown. Yes. I believe when they removed Amaral from his position.
Yeah, but I need to see what kind of deal is there, you know, because obviously there should be something between, as you said, Germany, Portugal, and UK.
Well, I'm guessing
that in Portugal you need to look into what kind of projects they were able to do. Because in the UK they weren't able to do it because of people or because of ethics, because I don't know. But I need to have a proper look into that as well.
What if the connection is still the Treaty of Lisbon? Treaty of Lisbon, is it not signed by more countries?
Yes.
Is Germany not a part of the Treaty of Lisbon?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So there could be.
But
we need to have a deeper look.
To have a deeper look, because obviously you need to see what kind of deal it was, what they did there. Because Gordon Brown, I remember he went later after everybody else went there. They signed the treaty, and he decided, oh, hold on a minute, I'm big man here, I'm not going at the same time. And then obviously he went right at the end by himself, all by himself, and he talked to the guy there, and he signed the treaty after having a chat.
Yeah.
And the other countries were saying, why did Gordon Brown?
No, the other countries, they were pissed off at him.
Exactly, they were saying,
yeah,
why did he go after we signed?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Anyway?
Who does he think he is? That he's from Britain, and what does he think that he's above everybody else? So they were quite pissed off at him that he didn't sign the treaty on time.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think that he wanted confirmation that Amaral is gone before signing anything.
Yes, because as soon as they talked there, the Amaral got the call. Obviously not Amaral, but the police there, they got the call, and he was out of the question. He was out of the case. So he went home. Obviously, they needed to know. So they called again to ask, is he gone? Yeah. Gone. Okay, sign the treaty. That's it, finished. So it was sort of a blackmail. If you do this, I'll sign the treaty. That's why he was waiting for it. That's why he went the last. So I don't understand what kind of coverage Tony, this Gordon Brown had to do with him, with Jerry McCann. What's going on?
But are they not both Freemasons?
Oh, they are, but still, it's too big. And I mean, every government now, because they change, right? So when a PM comes to power and they change, obviously they take the case and they fund again and again. What for? I need to go, I think. Sorry, guys. I think the little one woke up, so sorry about it.
Okay. Oh my God, I hope that the camera is not going to fall down. If the camera is going to fall down, it's gonna break. Oh my God, okay. It's always DIY, and sometimes it's just temporary. Okay, let's carry on with the comments. Joe is saying Kate McCann doesn't wash cuddle cat from cadaver, but a little sunscreen and scent. She washes it, not keeping Madeleine McCann last scent. Exactly. I found that strange from the beginning. Because it was, yes, it was Madeleine's scent before she went missing. Why would you wash it? It doesn't make sense. Don't you want to keep a memory? You know, like a worried mom, a devastated mom, just maybe hugging that cuddle cat, imagining having Madeleine next to her, or imagining cuddling Madeleine, but she's using that cuddle cat, and she's, you know, just scenting Madeleine, really. It just didn't make sense from the beginning. She washed the cuddle cat. Hi, Jerry. I don't believe the parents had anything to do with it. They didn't kill their daughter. Well, that is your opinion. There is a lot of, well, I won't be saying evidence because no one has evidence either way, but I am inclined to believe that they did have something to do with Madeleine's disappearance. Bernadette is saying, yes, Jerry on the shuttle bus looks stressed. Yes, definitely, he looks stressed. He does. And then also we have to remember Kate McCann. She said before she went on holiday.
I'm back.
Are you?
Yeah.
Kate McCann, before they went on holiday, she said that she has a bad feeling about this holiday, so she wasn't very comfortable going. And that's another clue.
What?
Joe is saying 3 kids under 4, no buggy, no intercom, no toys, no babysitting service booked, no nanny in case needed, no DNA in apartment, no separate toothbrushes for each child, etc. And you can keep on going. See, even the characters in the comment are not enough for this.
Even the pajamas.
Let's say, okay, no buggy, no babysitting service. And honestly, the babysitting service, I know that a lot of people would be saying that probably the babysitting service was expensive, but I think that it was around £10 per night or something like that. And again, I'm thinking, if they had money to buy so many bottles of wine each evening, wouldn't they afford to buy the babysitting service each evening for the safety of their kids.
What was it here?
No DNA in the apartment, no separate brushes, no separate brushes again. They said that they justified this by saying that kids, that they were all using the same toothbrush or the same hairbrush. I am not quite sure. Yes, I understand that they are kids of very similar ages. They would use each other's toothbrushes, but still, they would have separate toothbrushes, isn't it? It's not like you buy just one toothbrush for all your kids, especially because they are doctors, so they know how unhygienic it could be.
And they were well paid, because doctors are well paid, especially GP, you know, and he was better paid than Kate anyway, you know. But a GP in my A&E department, where I used to work in North Middlesex University Hospital, a GP was getting around 80,000-90,000 pounds a year. So just imagine how much.
Yes, but she wasn't a full-time GP. She was just part-time.
It doesn't matter, but they had money, right? So I'd rather spend those money for my kids than spend those money on a few bottles of wine. Come on, just make sure the kids are safe, are with the nanny, are there with the service provided by that place. Doesn't matter, you know, if I don't have all those money to spend on 2 bottles of wine. Come on, just give me a break with that.
It seemed that their wine was more important than the kids' safety.
Colin is a good guy. Yes, he was literally, his mindset is different. He has principles. He's really different. He didn't want to get involved into that. I remember that anyway. Debbie says here, you are an amazing pair. What a team. Forgive me, I didn't realize your husband was as passionate about the case and as knowledgeable as you are.
Well, Debbie, let me tell you something. At the beginning, when I started with the Madeleine McCann case, he wasn't as passionate as I was. He didn't really want to hear about it because it involved a child. However, over time, I was really struggling with my research to try and find more information. And at times, he would find something that I couldn't find. So I started asking him for help to help me in my research. And that's when he started getting interested in it. So since then, he's always helping me with the research. So more or less, whatever I know, he knows as well, because we are helping each other with the research. So yes. We are both of us interested and really intrigued by this investigation, especially the Madeleine McCann investigation.
Oh yes, oh yes. Right. Hi, Christine, because we didn't say hi to you.
Hi,
sorry
Christine.
About it.
Hi.
Did that all plan this holiday a long time before? Because they all got the same day to go on holiday. Do you know if any politicians or others had treatment at the hospital the McCanns worked?
This is a good question. Very interesting. We'll have to look into it.
Yeah, but I think
any politician at the hospital that the McCanns worked at.
I came across something, but to be honest, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
They worked in Australia as well. Also, he was in Glasgow, and then he went down. After they knew each other, they got married, and you know. But I don't remember if they had the politician as patient.
I'm not sure either.
Or
I don't know
any
about
other person, to be honest. And I think this thing, it won't be available because of the confidentiality issues. So I'm not going to be able to find out because of the confidentiality issue of that kind of particular side of research.
Yes. Then yes, I think that the holiday was planned. If I'm not mistaken, was it David Payne who actually planned the holiday and bought the tickets for them?
But they were planned before in Greece and stuff like that.
And this was planned as well.
Yeah.
But I think that this was more of a work holiday rather than just a, you know, a casual, relaxing holiday for everybody. And the fact that so many medical professionals and other professionals were staying at the resort at the same time
makes sense.
And apart from the tapas 9, it would mean that it was something planned well in advance, which again would make me think that it's possible Mark Warner had a role in it as well. Most of the tickets went through Mark Warner.
Most of them.
Yes.
There were only a few that were
from
booked.
Thomas Cook.
Yes. But there were kind of similar positions, to be honest. Doctors and big positions. There were those two that they were in the television.
Jess Wilkins and his wife.
Yes. They worked in television, you know, and also in crime with the crime team, where you have that program. I forgot now the name, but anyway, they were into. They had so many details about crimes and stuff.
Wilkins, he was a producer.
Yes.
And then his wife, she worked on Crime Watch, I think.
Yeah, Crime Watch, exactly. Yes.
And then she also published a book on a true story from the Victorian times about a detective, I think he was. It was something in the likes of child trafficking and prostitution and things like that. So even when I did my video on Jess Wilkins, you guys can find the videos on my channel on Jess Wilkins. I was even saying that it seemed very surprising to me that they had more or less the knowledge of not of committing a crime, but of planning or covering up after the fact, because she worked in crime.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say here. That she worked with, you know, television on Crime Watch program. So he being a producer as well, imagine the knowledge and the ideas they can get and the plans they can, you know, borrow and collaborate on that and corroborate, you know, so just imagine what kind of picture you can get there, you know.
That's exactly the kind of picture, because as I said in my Jess Wilkins video, the whole timeline and the whole story, it seems like a script playing picture by picture, put together, and you make a whole story out of it.
Yes. Obviously, Oh, sorry about it again. Sorry. Do apologize.
Now I think you woke up.
Yeah.
JD, embedded confession, yes. Mark Warner, Crime Watch. Let's see, Joe. Camps for poor orphans set up by Warner Group and others with suspect backgrounds. There you go. There's another one. I felt that Mark Warner was somehow involved. I didn't look into a lot of detail into Mark Warner, but there's not much out there really. What I could find was that they sold after the Madeleine McCann disappearance happened, that apparently wasn't good for business anymore. But strangely enough, they sold to a British person who paid millions on the company. So again, it begs the question, if he wasn't making money anymore because of the publicity around Madeleine McCann's disappearance, then why would they sell it so expensive? And why would someone buy it so expensive? There's some questions there. I can't answer them because I didn't really look into too much detail into them. Hi, Mortimer. Thank you so much for joining. Do you think the McCanns knew Robert Murat before 3rd of May 2007? Definitely, yes. We touched this subject just a bit earlier in the live, but I do think that they knew each other. And the way that Jerry responded when he was asked the question, and he responded with no comment, and you could clearly see on his face the frustration. He just lost it when he was asked the question. And then also he looked down, and to me, when someone looks down, it means that they are either embarrassed because they are lying, or they are looking down because they know they are guilty, but they don't really want to show it. Usually Jerry McCann, he's very, very hard to read because he's always got that blank expression on his face. He's at times very hard to read. However, there are times when you can actually read him, and that interview when he was asked, it was one of the times when you could actually read him and you could tell that he's lying. You could. And first of all, if somebody is asking you, did you know this person? If you don't know them, you just say, no, I don't know them. What's the point to say no comment when you just don't know the person, you know? Plus, in the UK, I believe that Murat lived around 1 mile away from Jane Tanner in Exeter, so the connection was already there. Bambi's asking, weren't the Podesta brothers in Portugal that time? Yes, I think that the Podesta brothers were there. I believe so. Yes, I still haven't researched into great depth the Podesta brothers, but as far as I know from my research into some other things, I don't really think that they played a role into Madeleine McCann's disappearance. Christine, I've been following the McCanns from day one. Look up about Jerry playing football with well-known people. This was a long time ago. I can't remember much about it. Wasn't he a doctor at a football club? And this football club was linked to pedophilia? I think that's something that I got as well over time whilst doing my research. Joe, you guys are the best. So much factual knowledge and respect for the cases and your subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being our sub and for following us and joining us. Okay, so I managed to catch up on all the comments here. There is another point that I really want to touch today. Now, there is a report in the Sun, and not only the Sun, obviously. I think that by now it's already everywhere in the press, in the media. This particular report I'm referring to is from the Sun from the 18th of March 2021, so only 2 days ago. The Metropolitan Police is asking yet again for more funding. That's not surprising, is it? And the grant from, and I think that we already know that the grant from the Home Office actually expires sometime this month. As we know, it's been renewed every 6 months, so every 6 months they can ask for new funding from the Home Office. And apparently the Met Police is now asking for these funds because they want to spend the money into investigating Christian Brueckner into more depth. As if it wasn't already enough that Christian Brueckner was already investigating in Germany, cleared in Germany already, and now again a suspect in Germany. And he was also investigated by the British police already. So now they need to investigate him again, and for that they need funding again. Bullshit, honestly. And it seems that the ministers, the great people of the British government, are expected to give more funding of around £350,000, which is supposed to cover the whole year. But as we know, they usually request funding every 6 months. So, yes, that's what am I doing here? Yes, so that is the article from the Sun. My God, I'm getting mixed up in my notes because I am not so much organized. Look, it's all handwritten. Can you believe it? It's like, you know how it is trying to do your research and trying to write stuff down when you have a 4-year-old, and I am trying to write something down, and every 5 minutes my kid goes, "Mommy, mommy, 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 I want that. Mommy, I want that." I write another sentence, "Mommy, mommy, I want that. Mommy, I want that." That's how it goes. That's why I'm getting confused. Look, here I have some pages written, and here is a nice drawing by my 4-year-old. Yeah, I can't even write in peace. Live. That's how it is. So the article in the Sun, it's this, is it a charade? Yeah, this charade keeps going. I don't know for how long. I don't know how many more justifications they will have to keep on giving funding. Like I previously said, I think that it's a payment to keep the McCanns and the whole group quiet. And I don't think it will stop any sooner. And I also think that the more that the investigation is going, even after Madeleine turns 18, because I know that a lot of us are asking the same question, what will happen when she turns 18? Well, the investigation doesn't need to stop there. The funding can still go on, I think. And I also think that the funding will still go on even after she turns 18, because if it doesn't, if the investigation closes, then all the information in the investigation will become publicly available, which means that it will be available through freedom of information requests. And I don't think that they want that to happen. The only thing which comes over the freedom of information requests would be matters of national security. As we know so far, in a lot of freedom of information requests done over the years, they've sent replies back with matters of national security. What can be a matter of national security in a child's disappearance? I don't know. I do not know. I have my suspicions, but everything just sounds ridiculous and everything just sounds bullshit, in my opinion. So we have more funding going their way, especially now in these times when so many people lost money, lost jobs, lost homes, lost I don't know, but it's unfair, and it's unfair to so many other missing children's cases that they are not allocated these funds. And so many parents, they beg and beg and beg to get financial help, to help in finding their children, and sometimes there's nothing, there's no money given. Yet this keeps going for a charade, which a very long time ago it stopped being about Madeleine McCann, and it's disgusting. And yes, it's very frustrating at the same time as well. It has to stop. The problem is that no one can stop it, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon. And I believe that the major factor is the information that has been gathered over the years, which they won't want to make it public. So the investigation being closed would probably make the information public under the Freedom of Information request, so under the Freedom of Information Act. So that would answer the question of what happens with the investigation in the UK when Madeleine McCann turns 18. Okay, let's put Debbie's comment on here. In 2 months, Maddie would have been 18, no longer a missing child. The fund has to stop. Yes, I know that the fund has to stop, but don't you see the pattern already? Because I'm seeing a pattern here over the years, always very close to when there is a new request for funding, some other new information come to life in the British press, which obviously they turn out not to be new information, but they are just new information at that point, just to bring a bit the attention of the people to say, oh, look at the police, they are still investigating. Oh, look, they found this. And then the government jumps in and says, oh, you know what, let's just give them more funding so they can carry on investigating. And this is how it goes. And this is a pattern happening throughout the years, although in this last year, Curiously enough, the McCanns have been very quiet, and I wonder what are they boiling, because they must be doing something. But also, I feel like in these last few years, they don't have as much grip as they did previously. Joy is saying lost reputations, lost professions, homes, families, life savings, and futures, while conmen line their pockets and their bodies too. I completely agree with you. And you know what they say, the rich will be richer and the poor will be poorer. There will never be, you know, a time when a poor person will be rich or a rich person will be poor. So yeah, some people don't have anything to put on their table for themselves and the kids, and the McCanns keep getting the funding. How do you justify as a government in today's times the £350,000 you give as funding? They should be embarrassed. They should be ashamed of themselves for doing what they are doing, the government. They should be. I think I have another thing here. So I want to go a bit back and talk about Christian Brueckner here. It seems that he was linked to 10 attacks or disappearance involving children and women across Europe since the late 1990s. But he wasn't really charged with anything out of those 10 attacks or disappearances. And Christian Brueckner's lawyer even said that the German prosecutors, they are trying everything possible to pin cases as old as 20 years on Christian Brueckner, just to pin them on someone, just to have the cases closed and to pin them on him because he's already in prison and they just want to make sure that he stays in prison. So you tell me, how fair is that? So they are looking now even at cold cases to pin on him. It's so unfair. And also, I was reading in the news article, I don't know how reliable it is, but I think it's worth mentioning that the British, the German, and the Portuguese police, it seems that they will have a meeting in the next few months in Portugal discussing over what they are going to do about Christian Brueckner and over the investigation of Madeleine Mccann in general. So I have, when I read this, I was actually asking myself, is it not possible that perhaps the British, the German, and the Portuguese police are meeting in Portugal to discuss what would be a good way to perhaps accuse the parents? Because maybe they've been keeping quiet for too long and they are getting fed up. I don't know, it's just an idea really. And this meeting will be in Lisbon, will be held in Lisbon in the next few months. There's also another weird thing. I'm quite sure, guys, that if you are following the press with Madeleine McCann, you've already read about it in the press, but it seems that Kate McCann, at one point, she said that she didn't really understand why the German police is so fixed on Christian Brueckner as a suspect. So this goes from another thing that they kept on saying over the last few years, that it's possible he is the one, he's the Madeleine McCann's abductor. They go from saying that to Kate saying that she doesn't understand why the German police is so fixed on Christian Brueckner as a suspect. And I believe the reason why she says that is because the German police, they have said that they think Madeleine McCann is dead and Christian Brueckner did it, and so that's why it's possible that she's now trying to get Christian Brueckner out of it, because it's not very good for them if it's known everywhere that Madeleine McCann died. If she died, then they can say bye-bye to the funding. So yes, that's another strange thing happening from Kate. Bad for the McCann. Yes, I don't know what I'm doing here right now. I'm going through my notes out loud. Sorry, I started singing as well. It's what I do when I go through my notes. So yeah, like I was already covering that it is bad for the McCanns to close the investigation, for the investigation to be closed. What will happen with Madeleine when she turns 18? I think that we've already covered that. She will not be a missing child, but I think that they can still keep the investigation ongoing for the purposes that I just mentioned. So I know that this was a previous question from JD. JD, if you are still with us, you haven't been active in the comments. It was a question from JD, but I think that you guys are interested as well in this. So it seems I managed to find out in the end. I wasn't quite sure before, but I managed to find out that the Portuguese legal system, they have a 15 years statute of limitations to prosecute anyone for criminal offenses, even manslaughter, homicide, sexual offenses, and even kidnapping. So that's their statute of limitations, 15 years maximum that they can convict someone on a crime. So 2007, 2021 is 14 years. I did the maths earlier. I hope I'm right. My husband did the maths actually because I'm horrible at maths. So it turns out that the Portuguese police, they still have 1 year left to try and convict someone on Madeleine McCann's disappearance. As opposed to Germany. Germany, for example, they have a 20-year statute of limitation. Yes, JD, you're still here. I thought maybe you fell asleep. So yes, JD, I answer your question. It's 15 years, the statute of limitations for Portugal, and it's 20 years for Germany. So either way, if they can't do anything in Portugal to prosecute anyone for the Madeleine McCann's disappearance because the time runs out, the Germans, they still have time. But honestly, it makes me think that the reason why all three forces are meeting in the next few months in Portugal is for something else rather than trying to work out how to convict Christian Brueckner of Madeleine McCann. Don't you think that perhaps they just got fed up of all this circus throughout the years and maybe they wanted to talk to each other and see how they can prove that the McCanns are guilty? Okay, I finished with all my notes, so I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. I will be catching up on the comments now. Debbie is saying your logic about the funding continuing makes absolute sense. Again, I never thought about this. You've got my brain ticking. It's a good thing I got your brain ticking at 2 o'clock in the night. It's like no one has sleep now in the night. Christine is saying, what if Maddie is alive and she turns up when she's 18? Does she have to talk to police? And the McCanns will sue those who said bad about her. Oh, that's a good question. Well, let's put the possibility that I'm just going to entertain this possibility for a second, that she's alive and she turns up when she's 18. I don't think that she has to talk to the police. But if it would be that she turns up when she's 18, I think that she would talk to the police. The McCanns will sue those who said bad about her. I'm not sure that they have any grounds to sue anyone who said bad about her, because in all honesty, all of us are just giving our opinions and, you know, freedom of speech and all that. So it's not like you say, I know for a fact, or I have proof that she died. The only people who said that they have proof that she is dead are the German police. So honestly, I have no idea. If I would be more than happy if she does turn up when she's 18 and she's alive, and that would prove that my theories were wrong. but honestly, I don't really see it happening. But if my theories prove that I'm wrong, then I have to quit my job. Mortimer is saying, is the 350,000 euro for salaries for of med detectives, and is there public disclosure of all expenses? Mortimer, there is no public disclosure of all expenses, honestly. That the 350,000 includes the salaries of the med detectives, but as far as I know, there are only 5 or 6 on the case, and the total salary, the total expenses for their salary in a 6 times period is way, way, way lower than 350,000 euros. It's not euros, actually, it's pounds, so it's a bit higher than euros, higher than 350,000 euros. There is no public disclosure on all expenses. There was never a public disclosure on all expenses. But if there are, I can't remember in which video I covered the expenses. I just gave an example because I even looked at the latest salaries paid to the police, and it didn't total to the expenses for 6 months. It was way, way lower than that, and I don't know what else they are using the money for, because certainly they are not using the money for investigating, that's for sure. Bernadette is saying, if Christian B goes to court, then McCann's and friends will be witness, and how is that going to go down when their story and timelines are so far apart? If Christian Brueckner goes to court, I don't think that the McCanns and the friends will be called as witnesses. You know, if, say, for example, if the McCanns, they would be put on trial for Madeleine McCann's disappearance, their story would crumble so quick on that stand. Is unbelievable. There are so many holes in that story that any prosecutor can pick it apart. So I think that if the McCanns would go on trial for the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, I think that they would be found guilty. The only problem I'm having with that is that it's so much in the media and it's so covered by the press that I don't think that you would be able to find any juror in this world who wouldn't be biased in a way or another, unless they would decide to do a trial without a jury, which I'm not sure if it's possible. It might be, though. Hi, RP. Thank you for joining. Hi, the statute of limitations here depends on the nature of the crime. Yes. Do you mean here in the UK or, oh, Portugal? Yes, I've seen that in Portugal. Yes, it depends on the nature of the crime. Yes, but as far as I know, from what I could find out online on manslaughter, homicide, sexual offenses, and even kidnapping, it would be 15 years. Do you know any different? Because obviously you are in Portugal, so you know more than me. But this is what I actually Googled today and I managed to find out. Oh, it depends on how the time is counted, right? So in Madeleine McCann's case, how would be the time counted? Starting when? Because if it would be to start from the beginning when she went missing, then 15 years would be next year, so in 2022. Oh, there may be an interruption, right? So that can count towards, I mean, extra to the 15 years, so added on top of that. So it's not like when we count from the beginning. That's interesting to know. I am really happy that you are here and you are able to clarify this. Hi, Beth. Hi, Kat. Came late. It would be very interesting to know what all that money was spent on. Well, they don't really disclose all the expenses, though, do they? We never knew for sure what the money was spent on. That's the problem with the funding. And they were also saying, the McCanns were also saying that it will be, what was the word that they were using all the time? It will be so transparent, the fund. Yes, it's so transparent that it's a private company, it's a limited company. That's how transparent it is. Maybe why the PJ closed it, well, shelved it. It was apparently shelved, the investigation. Do you think that so that it pauses the time and then, you know, start it again so that they don't go over the statute of limitations? I don't know for sure, only a judge could ascertain. Okay, that's fine, but at least we know a bit more now. So it wasn't like I was thinking that from the beginning up until 2021, because it would be 15 years when she went missing. So that's good to know as well. Anyway, I was also thinking that I would really, really love to get in contact with Gonzalo Amaral, but honestly, I have no idea how to do it. I have tried finding his contact information online. I couldn't find a lot of information on him. The problem is that there are a lot of people who are saying they are him, but they are not him. On Twitter, at one point, I thought that I came across his profile, but it turned out that it was a fake profile. Someone used his name, but they are actually pro McCanns. So honestly, I don't even know who to trust. And I really want to get in touch with Amaral, but I don't know how. If any of you know how I can contact him, can you please let me know in the chat section? Anyone? No? No one? I want to contact Amaral. I want to contact Gonzalo Amaral. Anyone can help me? Can anyone help me? Can you guys help me? There is a support group for him on Facebook, but I haven't been on there for a while. Right, okay, I'll have a look at that. I might be on that Facebook group, I'm not sure. Do you know if his name is it the Truth of the Lie group? RP is saying Bruckner's crimes, except for anything related with Madeleine McCann, have already hit the statute of limitations. However, in Germany they haven't, and that's for that reason they convicted him for a woman's rape. Yes, but apparently, according to his lawyer, he said that. Let me find my notes again. He said that Christian Brueckner was linked to 10 attacks or disappearances involving children and women across Europe since the late 90s, but he wasn't really charged with anything. And his lawyer said that it seems that the German police, they are so fixed on pinning any cold case on him that they would just, try to find any case which wasn't solved to pin it on him. So that's another thing there. I know that Germany, they have 20 years statute of limitations. Christine is saying Sonia Polton. Oh, Sonia Polton. Yeah, that's a good idea. But honestly, I don't think that she will reply to me. Well, I will try anyway. I have tried contacting a few YouTube creators who have a larger subscriber base than I do, because I wanted to bring them on one of the lives, but I think I contacted around 6 of them so far a couple of weeks ago, and I still didn't get any replies. So it turns out that it seems that they I don't know, they decide to have a collaboration with someone who is at the same level of subscribers. I think, I'm not quite sure, but I will try to contact Sonia Polton as well. Bernadette is saying I have to go, I can't keep my eyes open. And good night, Kat. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Bernadette, for joining. Have a good night. I will finish soon as well, because I finished everything that I really wanted to point out. But thank you for staying with me so long. Thank you and have a good night. Bye. Thank you, JD. Thank you. Joanna Moraes. Let me make a note of it somewhere. Yeah, I'll make it on my phone. Joanna. I honestly think that Gonzalo Amaral already figured out what happened with Madeleine McCann. That's why I want to contact him. Yes, victory for Gonzalo Amaral. I was so happy for him, but they destroyed his life regardless. They still destroyed his life. They ruined his marriage, his relationship. They dragged him in court. They stained his image. They were trying to discredit him. Even now in the British press, he's still being discredited and he's being talked badly. Yeah, so they, in a way, they achieved what they planned with discrediting him, but he won in court, and that's the main thing. And I was really happy when I heard that. And it turns out that they still haven't paid him the money back, and it turns out that all the books that they confiscated from him, they still didn't return those books to him, the McCanns. So how fair is that? Again, you can tell the power of the McCanns, how far it goes. Oh, I'm already so fed up with even hearing their names, honestly. Jeff is saying contact Lizzie Taylor. Yes, I will actually talk to Lizzie about that, because I want to invite her on one of my lives on this channel. I've been in her live last week, I think it was. So she said that anytime I want her in my life, she will join me. So I will talk to her about Gonzalo Amaral as well. Okay, JD, that's all right. Have a good night. Thank you for staying so long. RP saying Jay doesn't speak English well. I believe he speaks French as a second language. He's also wary of anyone from Britain contacting him because if slander, misquoting, etc. Yes, I understand. I understand that. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, I know as well that he doesn't speak English well. Unfortunately, I don't speak French. I speak Spanish, Italian, Romanian, Hungarian, English, but no French and no Portuguese. Unfortunately, yeah, I would assume that he's wary of anyone from Britain contacting him. So I'm not sure how to. I'll figure something out anyway. I'll see if I can. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll check out her YouTube channel. Debbie, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. My brain's still ticking. Hopefully your brain will be able to fall asleep now. Take care and good night. Jeff is saying GA knows the truth 100%. Yes, I completely agree with you. That's why I would love to contact him, not necessarily for the purpose of my YouTube channel, but more to see what conclusion he reached, because I really want to know if there is anything to what I'm thinking as well. It's just a confirmation really, because I don't want to get him in trouble. So that's the main reason why I would really love to contact him. That is the name of the group. Yeah, I am on the group. I am on that group, yes. I actually will contact the admin of the group and ask. Maybe they have a contact information or something. I am not sure. But I will have a look. Moraes is on Twitter, YouTube, etc. Well, RP is saying, well, Portuguese is a Romance language too. I know it is, yes. But because I speak Spanish and Italian, it's confusing to learn Portuguese as well. So I never did learn Portuguese. Christine is saying, I'll say Tony Bennett, but the McCann sued him. Yes, I know that the McCann sued him, and even to this day, he's still paying them back for whatever they sued him for. For slander, wasn't it? Yeah, probably. He is still paying to this day. Okay, guys, I think I am ready to end the live tonight. I covered everything that I wanted. Any last questions before I end? Can you read Portuguese though? No. I mean, they are words similar to Spanish, and maybe I would be able to maybe make sense of what is being said, but not 100%. No. I can read Spanish and Italian and all the languages I said I can talk, but I can understand, but Portuguese, no. Ooh, I need to learn. I think I'm too old to learn now. Christine is saying our brains are working overtime. How can you sleep? Even when I am in bed, I'm still thinking about whatever research, or maybe that's when I start getting an idea and I write it down, or I put it down on my phone so I don't forget to check it out the next day. Because there are so many things which are just, you know, going through my brains, and then if I don't write them down somewhere, I will forget them. So I don't know, I feel sometimes that my brain is draining. Jeff is saying, thank you, Kat. Please keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Jeff. I am getting. Bambi saying, thank you. Good night. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I think I am ready to go now. Have a lovely night or day or evening if you are not in the UK. Take care, guys. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone. Bye.